In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the best tips and tricks in Dead Rails to help you win every single run. So if you guys enjoyed this video, or if this video helps you out, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, comment below what the class that has gotten you the most wins in this game is, and feel free to comment on any tips and tricks I may have missed. Let's get right into the video. Now, the first tip is I recommend selling your starting items if you can to just get a better start. Now, it is worth saying that most of the classes in this game, when you sell their item, you will get literally $0 from it. So be careful with selling your items. Make sure to double check that your class items are sellable before you literally just waste items. Now, if you already have a gun, I highly recommend grabbing a horse from an outlaw. Just because, like, it is insanely useful to have a horse in this game. And it's just it's like I said before, it's just very nice to have a horse. A lot of the other cheese strategies, you will need a horse for. Also, I definitely recommend grabbing 2 horses for every 1 person you have in the game. Because, let's be frank here, horses dying accidentally happens 24/7. So, definitely grab 2 horses per person. Because in my opinion, I definitely feel like it's kind of needed in this game. Now, whenever you see a white horse, I definitely recommend giving it a closer check because there is a very small chance it can actually be a unicorn, which will sell for a ton of money. Also, a very funny glitch you can do is fire and reload very quickly, and it'll pretty much give you infinite ammo, but you will waste a lot of ammo because it will be a little harder to hit. Like, you guys can see I'm doing this. Oh, I can't reload because I don't have any ammo. But yeah, reloading while also firing with the revolver is an insanely useful strategy, mainly because it allows you to rapid fire. It honestly works a lot better on things like the Navy revolver, because the Navy revolver just straight up does more damage. Also, I'm sorry for killing these horses. I really badly need fuel right now. But yeah, like I said before, always check white horses for the horn, because honestly, $250 is a lot of money. And a lot of the time, the white horses are perfectly free. And also, like I said before, make sure to spam reload your revolver if you actually want to do that glitch. I'm not sure if it'll be fixed by the time you watch this video, but in case it isn't, it is a very good strategy to do, and it is absolutely insane with Navy Revolver. If you combine it with Navy Revolver, it does an absolute ton of damage, because it's pretty much, you will never have to reload if you do it fast enough, and also at the same time, the Navy Revolver just straight up does more damage. Also, rip to these horses, F in the chat. At nighttime, in case you are not in an outpost, if you have a horse with you, you can literally just outrun every single mob that spawns in the night, and it honestly makes the nights extremely easy, if not a little boring. Just be aware that sometimes the mobs can spawn in front of you, so you will have to dodge from time to time. So don't be completely oblivious, but this is generally like the best thing to do during nights. This is why you always want to grab a horse, because you can literally just do this, and nights are completely free no matter the mob. Like, vampires will sometimes teleport in front of you as well. So you have to be double careful against vampires because they can both spawn in front of you and they will always teleport in front of you. So you have to constantly be juking the vampires. Werewolves are free as well. They are a little faster, so you're not going to be able to turn as much. But just be aware that you could do this during the night, and it makes the nights extremely easy. Now, a quick tip I'll tell you guys about early on in the run. If you guys see a gunsmith before you even get to the first town, or I would argue even in the first town, always check it out because it can have guns in it. It doesn't look like this one has guns in it, unfortunately. Oh my gosh, it does. See, this is why you want to check out gunsmiths. Not only that, but you can actually get more items in it, which is actually very nice. And you do get fuel. Like, look at that. This is exactly why you always check gunsmiths and sheriffs before the first town. Actual lifesaver right here, man. Like, literally just proving my point in front of my face right now. That's actually absurd luck, guys. I promise I haven't recorded this multiple times. That is insane luck. Now, when you're early on in the run, you don't have a ranged weapon yet, ignore the fact I got insanely lucky at a gunsmith, which, by the way, that tip is very nice to have. If you guys are early on in a run like this, you guys can do what I'm doing here, where you just slowly bait the zombies into this. So you slowly bait the zombies into this, or you can even get them glitched on the building walls as well. That works. The AI isn't smart enough to go around this most of the time, so you guys can get easy free kills like this in your first few towns when you don't have a gun yet. Now, it is also worth mentioning, I recommend you always clear the first town, especially if you're not solo. If you're solo, there is like a case to be made where you might not want to be doing first town, just because like it may be hard to do as a solo sometimes. But if you do the strategy I'm showing here, or even get them just stuck on walls, first town obviously is very, very easy. So I always recommend raiding first town. It pretty much gets you set up for the rest of your run. And doing this glitch here is very, very nice. If you ever have a gun, I recommend you stop at every outlaw camp you see until you have the guns you need or the armor you need. Because the amount of loot that these guys have is absolutely insane for literally no risk. If you already have, like, let's say you have like a revolver, you can easily take out their camp and find a rifle from it. So usually you should probably want to stop for these. They're insanely good. Now, in case you ever get stuck in town at nighttime, as you guys can see, you could blockade the door with items. And if it's anything other than a vampire night, you are significantly safer than if you don't blockade the door. Like, I'm just blockading it with literal random junk that's in this house right now. Get out of my face. I'm trying to show this. Thank you. You can even honestly just hold an item like this, and I'm pretty sure it works as a blockade. That's one of the other reasons why you actually want to be just camping in a house at nighttime. If you blockade the door and it's not a vampire night, you're pretty much guaranteed to be safe. And if it is a vampire night and you blockade the door, you could just stand near one of the sides, so they teleport not right next to you. It's also worth mentioning that the best thing to blockade doors are obviously like sheet metal, but you can do it with barrels. Barrels work extremely well. So if you want to hold it like this, like I am right now, that works. Like you guys can see, there is a zombie right there, and this is working. He's not going to be able to get through. Now, during nights like this where vampires or werewolves spawn, if you guys are still in an outpost, you can actually use these turret guns that spawn here to help you kill these enemies, and then you literally just get free money from selling it. Now, I will say this is a very newbie strategy, so I recommend you don't do this unless absolutely necessary, because if you rely on this, then your games are going to take way, way too long to complete. But it can be nice to get a little bit of extra cash, especially when you're already in the outpost or you're about to be in an outpost. It's very, very nice to just have the ability to get a little bit of extra money to help you out. Now, I recommend always having 2 snake oils and a bandage. Only get the bandage if you're playing in a team. If you're playing solo, then the 2 snake oils will be fine. They will literally save your life. Like, I almost just died earlier because I ran out of ammo, and it was not very nice. If I had 2 snake oils, I would have been perfectly fine. Remember to always have 2 snake oils on you, because that will be extremely, extremely helpful to have. Also, what I recommend doing is whenever you see coal in a shop like this, do what I'm doing and just spend all of your money on coal after you already have enough ammo, by the way. Because I noticed a lot of people overstock on ammo, but ammo is a guaranteed spawn at every single outpost, while coal actually randomly rotates between like the item selection at general store. So you could have entire runs where the only coal spawn will be the coal at the start of the game. So just be careful of that, because you can have times where you literally get no coal and the run will literally just take forever. So I'd recommend buying as much coal as you can when you have enough ammo. Like you guys can see, I just bought a bit of ammo for rifle. 100 ammo is perfectly fine for where I am in the game. Let me reload real quick. And yeah, I just spent the rest of the coal. Definitely should do that after you have 2 snake oils and a decent amount of ammo. Now, when you're armoring up your train, I recommend you do the armoring exactly like this and put the barbed wire exactly like this. Because not only will it protect you from outlaws and prevent you from dying instantly from them, but as a last-ditch resort, since the barbed wires are placed like this, you can barricade yourself inside of your train like this. So you guys can see I'm doing this right now. You can barricade yourself inside of your train, and it will actually prevent you from dying, and the barbed wire will obviously do some work. I don't know how much work the barbed wire will do, but it will kill some of the enemies for you, and quite frankly, that's better than none. That is definitely better than none of them. Now, when you're looting a town and it's about to turn nighttime, I heavily recommend that you guys focus on banks and churches while you're clearing the town. Just because they're the best things that you can loot in towns, basically, when you're actually very low on time. So it's a very useful thing to just remember, okay, I need to rush this bank. Like, it's going to be turning nighttime soon, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is this bank right here. And it's also worth mentioning that you should always do the banks first, because it is really hard to put in codes at nighttime. And in a church, you can actually see crucifixes on the ground extremely easily. So you can still loot the church at nighttime. So just keep that in mind whenever you're clearing towns and it's about to turn nighttime. Focus on banks first and then immediately go to the church. And then you can leave after you grab the crucifixes. Now, if you're going to buy any armor at all, I always recommend grabbing bare minimum a helmet. I'm also going to be buying a chestplate here, but always bare minimum actually get a helmet. Because the chance of you getting one shot in this game are a lot higher than you would imagine. A lot of the time, the AI actually has aimbot, and they will literally just straight up shoot you through walls and stuff like that. So I would recommend just always getting a helmet. Now, this is an extremely quick tip, but if you're ever low on fuel, just know that werewolf corpses actually give a lot of fuel. The amount of fuel werewolves give you is absolutely massive. Actually massive. Like you guys can see, 3 corpses and I'm almost half a tank. They give you a ton of fuel and they could be a good backup fuel in case you don't have stuff like barrels or coal. And even if you do have them, sometimes it's just better to use them because they're about 20 each. They're the same as a coal. And 2 of them is about equal to a coal. So just keep that in mind. Now, this is another quick one as well. If you guys have at least 3/4 of a tank of the actual train fuel, it will get you to the next outpost, guaranteed. Unless you're using conductor, then it takes significantly less. But if you're not using conductor, it's about 3/4 of a tank to get to the next outpost. Just keep that in mind. Now, my next tip is going to be, you should always stop at Tesla. So first of all, even if you don't want to do the boss at the end of the game, which is completely fair, it's a really difficult boss. Even if you don't want to do the boss at the end of the game, you could sell his head and all of the gold bars in here for a lot of money. An absolute ton of money. Like, the money you get from this is honestly massive. It's an insane amount of money you can get from doing Tesla. So just always keep that in mind. Always stop at Tesla, no matter what. Always stop here. It's literal free money if you don't want to do Tesla, and if you do want to do Tesla, then this is the way to actually get the best weapon in the game. So you do have to keep that in mind. Always stop at Tesla. That is like the biggest thing that you should probably know. Always stop at this freaking special building, man. Also, I would always recommend waiting until it's decently daytime to start an event like this. Just because from time to time, it can be extremely difficult to do these special buildings at nighttime. Because, like, for example, if you're doing Fort and you get a werewolf night, you might accidentally end up killing yourself in accident. So just keep that in mind as well when you're doing these special buildings. But like I said, if you don't want to do the boss, that's fine too. You can sell his head and all the gold bars in here, like you guys can see. You can sell it for a lot of cash. Plus, there's literal free fuel. Now, whenever you want to actually do Tesla, I heavily recommend that you stand near the front of the building. The reason why is because there are there's lightning coils or whatever inside of the building that'll protect you from getting struck by lightning. And also, you'll be able to see the zombies from a further distance away. Now, please note that sometimes they will spawn behind you, so you should check behind you from time to time. Make sure to keep that in mind. They will spawn behind you from time to time. I am playing Priest, so I'm going to walk out here. But in case you're not playing Priest, there are actually lightning rods that spawn inside of the Tesla building. So you can't actually use those to just stand out in the open. As you guys can see, if you're out in the open, they can't really sneak up behind you and hit you very easily. The only reason it's happening to me is because I'm yapping away because I have to record a video. Yep, just like that. Normally, I'm a lot more alert and focused, but I'm not right now. So yeah, just keep that in mind wherever you're doing Tesla. I recommend just standing out here, get a lightning rod, and put it nearby so you won't ever get struck by lightning. And it doesn't matter if they spawn in the building or if they spawn around it. They won't be able to sneak up on you because obviously you're out in the open. Now, I'm going to be sharing some quick tips on how to clear castle. It is the best building. I'm like glitching out right now because like I don't want to die. As it is the best building to do if you're trying to grind bonds in this game. Now, that failed. But as you guys can see, shotguns are really good for clearing this area. Just because, first of all, they're insanely good against vampires. And they're insanely good against werewolves. Of course, like, I would recommend not using the shotgun against werewolves until they're extremely close. You want to use the rifle. I'm just trying to show that the shotgun does a lot of damage. Now, I'm trying to get this glitched in here. Get on my face. So what I'm trying to do here is that you could actually use items to blockade the werewolves from getting out. You just have to place the items correctly. Sheet metal can work very great for this. Also, I will mention, Shotgun is easily the best weapon to use against vampires in the entire game. Because vampires teleport to you, so they will literally teleport behind you or in front of you or whatever. They'll just do a bunch of teleportation stuff. If you aim for their head with the shotgun, it will instantly kill them, which is insane because they have more HP than normal. So you guys can see I'm just like waiting around here for them to teleport. It looks like the werewolves actually did get unfortunately, so I'm not gonna be able to show you guys the sheet metal trick because I'm pretty sure the werewolves are all stuck. Oh, there he is. As you guys can see, you can get them stuck against the wall and stuff like this, but you do want to always barricade the door just in case. I'll also show you guys real quick, the electrocutioner is absolutely insane for clearing castle. I know there's more vampires in there. I will also say castle is the best thing to do if you're trying to clear bonds in this game. Let's see if I can get him stuck on the sheet metal instead of the door right there. No, bro is just door maxing right now. Okay, there you go. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys the electrocutioner. I am not playing survivalist. I almost just killed my horse. Bro, horsey, I'm so sorry, bro. But as you guys can see, you can get them easily stuck on the door, and they're insanely easy to kill with the electrocutioner right here. So I am going to just keep baiting them here next to my barricaded door so they won't be able to kill me. And as you guys can see, electrocutioner is insane. Absolutely insane. It also does AoE damage in case that's something you guys actually care about. All right, where are they stuck at? Boom. Look at that. Look at that damage. Oh my gosh. They're all freaking dead. Be careful when you're clearing castle, by the way, because sometimes enemies can get stuck in these rooms up here. So you got to be very careful of that. I'm also going to check behind you. Okay. Enemies get stuck in these rooms very easily for some reason in castle. So just be wary of that. Just be extremely careful. In case you're one of those absolute noobs that love looting the worst building in the game, the fort. If you just absolutely love raiding terrible buildings and you just raid everything. An easy way to clear fort is doing this on the first wave. You just sit near the entrance and you can snipe at the enemies. I do recommend moving from side to side so you don't get shot by these guys. But if you stay near the entrance, your chance of getting shot is significantly lower. And it gives you time to snipe the melee enemies that come after you. As you guys can see, I'm doing fairly well here against all these enemies. Just be aware that their weapons can actually block your bullets. So you do have to aim for not where their weapons are. As you guys can see, moving side to side. He has a shotgun, so that hit me because he's a baller like that, I guess. Oh, yep, see, shot my gun, so it did no damage. Now, just be aware also, this is an important thing to know about this. Captain Prescott here is worth 150. So make sure to always pick him up and don't use it for fuel, guys. I've used it for fuel a few times. Don't do that. There's also weapons and ammo in here, but it's kind of pointless. I mean, the weapons are pretty decent, I guess, if you don't already have weapons. But if you don't have weapons, why are you doing this? Anyways, immediately when you actually unlock that, you want to run up to the cannons here because that is when the horse people are going to start spawning. And trust me, you do not want them to start grouping up. So you want to run up here on the cannon, and you could easily just kill all of them like this with a single cannon here. My cannon glitched for a second. I couldn't fire it, so that was nice. But as you guys can see here, this is an easy way to clear the fort. You just run up here as soon as you put the key in and just shoot them with the cannon. It will instantly one-shot them no matter what because the cannon does an absolutely insane amount of damage. And it's honestly a shame that the ammo is limited because the gun itself is very fun to use. It's an AoE, it does a lot of damage. It's a pretty fun weapon. But yeah, this is just like the easiest way to clear. You guys can see I'm just like breezing through this right now. I'm pretty sure you have enough ammo on one side to clear all of the horses, but I guess we're about to find out if you do or not. I have 2 more ammo. Is that all the horses? See if there's any glitched below me. And yes, that is in fact all of the horses. So if you like clearing fort, this is just a quick tip on how to clear it easily. As you guys can see, I was never really in any real danger, and it was fairly easy to do. I just still think it's a waste to clear fort. Like, you get bonds from it, sure, and you get the cannon, which is fun to use, but, I mean, like, just come on, man. Now, here's a quick tip. If your electrocutioner ever gets low on ammo, you can easily just use a crucifix to actually recharge its ammo, just like that. Because you guys can see it had, like, a little visual effect on it, and the electrocutioner, boom, it reloaded it. So it's very, very nice, in all honesty, and it looks like a zombie just stepped on church because it just got struck by lightning. It's a really easy way to actually reload the weapon. You could also use holy water, but the lightning is a lot less accurate. So just using a crucifix to reload this weapon is probably worth it just because this weapon is so strong. Now, when you're leaving the second to last outpost and when you're at the 70,000 meter, I recommend leaving this outpost just as it's turning nighttime because you will arrive at the end of the game around when morning starts, and it'll make it a lot easier so it doesn't turn to nighttime as you're doing the end of the game. Now, at the end of the game, I recommend stopping your train just before you get into the turret's range, just because it's really easy to just straight up snipe these guys. Unless you're on mobile, I'm sure it's somewhat difficult on mobile. But even on mobile, I would still do this just because it makes the end of the game a lot easier. And quite frankly, like, you don't want to be running into these turrets. You can get really unlucky with headshots and they will literally instantly kill you. So I wouldn't mess around with that. Now, unfortunately, sometimes they do spawn really weird like this. So you're not going to be able to snipe all of them, but you can kill most of them before they even, like, get targeted on you, which is also really nice. Something that's really annoying that you should definitely note about the end of the game, though. These guys can shoot through walls, so definitely be careful of that. They can shoot through walls and they will kill you. So definitely be very careful of them shooting through walls. Now, a really easy way to actually beat this game without having to do anything at all. Immediately after you turn the wheel here, so I'm going to turn it real quick. Immediately after you turn the wheel here, you can jump on this bridge and go to around the back of the bridge. If you do this, the enemies will not be able to pathfind to you, and you will literally just instantly win the game. Now, in case you don't want to do this, you can also just sit at the back of the outpost on top of the steps and snipe enemies from afar. I definitely recommend, if you spawn the Tesla boss, you can use the cannon on your actual train to do a lot of damage to it, and then you have the other person with the electrocutioner doing the rest of the damage. But yeah, that's actually going to be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, or if this video just helped you out, hit the like button, subscribe, ring that bell, turn them notifications on, and I hope to see you next one. Peace out.